All right. Yeah, so like I was saying, this here is org chart, and at the top we have our controller, Amy Herron, and you can see the different teams that our office is broken out into. Starting at the left, we have Kelly MacArthur. She's an associate controller and head of the capital assets accounting, reporting, and financial compliance. Then there's Holly Seal, who is the director of affiliate financial services. On the right, you can see Sonia Christmas, who is our newest associate controller, replacing Marina, who left, and she is the head of financial accounting, reporting, and tax compliance, and works alongside the Georgia Tech Foundation. And then in the middle, we have Serena Simpson, who is the director of the Financial Systems Management, the FSM team, which is our team here presenting today. So our team, the FSM team, is responsible for providing production support for the Workday financial accounting and financial reporting areas, as well as improving controls, analysis, and processes within the financial systems here at Georgia Tech. Some examples of this include like facilitating month and year-end fiscal close, troubleshooting Workday financial integrations and reports, and any journal issues, troubleshooting those as well. We also provide training on Workday financial processes, and we work on process improvements and reporting changes, as well as handle different ServiceNow tickets. So really, I figured a good place to start would be explaining really what Workday Financials is, especially given the upcoming unified ERP. Workday is the system of record here at Georgia Tech where all financial transactions occur and are recorded. It's a configurable cloud-based software. It's accessible through any of your internet browsers, and they also have a mobile app. We use it here to support the different business processes at Georgia Tech, and it allows our system to improve over time with they have different Workday R1 releases they do improvements twice a year. These provide Georgia Tech with access to new feature improvements and advanced functionality. Our team and different functional areas actually test these throughout the year when these different R1 releases happen to test any new features that we want to use and just make sure that there is no unexpected breakings or problems in the system, making sure nothing else was affected. Another cool thing about Workday is that it's really not only just a software, it's also a community. They have Workday community that you can access through your same Workday login where you can share best practices and collaborate on different issues with, other institutions and organizations that use Workday. Um, but throughout this presentation, we'll be covering the different aspects of Workday financial data and how we use it. So we already discussed that it is our system of record, and that's where our financial transactions and functional data occur. But what does this data include? Workday is our general ledger where all historical and financial data is collected, and where all accounting entries are made and are used to record financial transactions. This includes things like journals, supplier invoices, expense reports, our accounts payables and receivables, our asset management, budget entries and loads, and really any accounting entry goes through Workday. We also have several different systems that integrate through Workday. Some of them that we talked about earlier in this, um, like Banner, but we have ServiceNow for GTPE project creation, the ELN, the electronic and nanotechnology charges have an integration, HR commitment accounting, One Budget, Georgia Tech Foundation, GTRI, Jagger. These are all different systems that integrate into Workday to post different financial data. So an example of one that we've actually worked on recently was be the Georgia Tech Foundation team has an API. This runs overnight daily if there's data in the feed to process their and post their expense and budget transactions. And then another commonly used system that's integrated into Workday is what we just talked about is Jagger, which is a shopping portal used by procurement business services. So, we have Workday and all these different systems integrated into it, but where do we use this data? We already mentioned that financial transactions and functional data was the main use of financial data within Workday. But to go into a little bit more detail, the most common uses are accounting and operational journals. Those are two main types of journals. So accounting journals are journals that are not tied to system generated transactions. These are journals that you can go into the system and be generated online or loaded via an EIB spreadsheet, which that stands for Enterprise Interface Builder, which help us load big journals with a lot of line items, so we don't have to be manually entering, journals one by one. This and it also includes systems that are loaded for those system-to-system integrations that we just talked about, like OneBudget and Banner and ServiceNow. And then the operational journals are Workday system-generated journals. So those are tied to transactions within Workday, like the requisitions, purchase orders, supplier invoices, supplier payments, customer invoices, spend authorizations, and expense reports, things like that. Um, Another really critically important use of financial data that other groups have talked on that we use in Workday is for reporting and analytics. We have custom reports Georgia Tech has created and tailored for our use. Workday delivered reports. And then we have the campus reporting dashboard that was talked about that can help guide you to different reports that are best for, a specific inquiry or a reconciliation you're looking to do. And we'll be going into a little bit more detail about reporting and the campus reporting dashboard in a little bit as well. So, what are some of the tools and the processes that we use, that we take advantage of to utilize all this financial data? And like, who are the people that are, actually using this across campus? The main roles are, accountants, financial analysts, executives, cost center and driver work tag managers, directors. Really, any of these people will be using financial data at some point. Any person who's entering some type of financial transaction or record or running a report is using, running a report in Workday is using financial data. So who has access to run what in Workday is controlled by the what we call Workday security roles, which we will also mention in a bit. Um, we talked about some processes like Workday reports and integrations like the EIBs. They allow us to post large sets, but other tools that are built into Workday are Workday worksheets, and these allow us to build more complex reports, like layered reports. And they also have the benefit of having that familiar feel of Excel formulas, and you can share these with your coworkers. Um, an example of one of these that our office had requests to be built was a month-end journal in Workday worksheets. So we run a big report every month to post an athletic allocation journal, and then we would do a lot of checks and balances and create that journal by hand. And now we just run that through Workday worksheets, and it we just refresh the data every month for what month we want it to run for. And we built the same formulas that we had in our hand-built journal and built those into Workday worksheets. So it saves us a lot of time, and we found that it's a really useful tool um, for us. We also have a variety of tools that we use differently. One of the most important that we've talked about is Oracle SQL Developer for the data warehouse. This is used as a data repository, and it's also used for mapping work tags like ledger accounts to new driver work tags. We use this alongside Tableau to build tables and reports for analysis that we can't use in Workday. And then another commonly used tool that we use for financial data is the allowable cost matrix. It's actually linked on this slide, and that's an interactive table that will show you out categories for different expenses, and that's accessible to everyone. So take a look if you have time. So now we're going to get into a little bit more detail on Workday and its financial or in its functional areas. The foundation data model is the foundation of Workday functional areas listed here in the table shown. And it's defined as a multi-dimensional structure that is equivalent to the old chart of accounts in PeopleSoft. Really, this is the framework that supports accounting and financial reporting across all of Georgia Tech. And it's organized into different functional areas or groups of related tasks, reports, and business processes. These are things like business assets, financial accounting, budgets, grants, gifts, um, and other groups that you can see on the screen here. The foundation data model really provides consistent definitions of financial definitions for us to standardize reporting and accounting across all levels. So it's very important. It's like our foundation of all accounting. So we're going to talk about work tags. I'm sure everyone has heard the term work tag around campus, but really, what are they? In the foundation data model, they're defined as dimensions that identify where financial transactions are charged and categorizes them for reporting. We can kind of think of them as like hashtags or key identifiers used on all financial transactions. And there's three types of work tags. There's driver, which is the main work tag. We have related work tags, and then there's other. The driver work tag is the main tag on the financial transaction, and they actually default what related work tags will post on that transaction to their corresponding field. So this will reduce the number of fields that you need to memorize or enter. So once you enter the driver work tag, the related work tags auto-populate, help, just saving cut down and cutting down some time. And then some examples of common driver work tags are on the screen here. These include the designated, grants, GTRI charge codes, and gifts. So we wanted to show you on the screen an example really of when you're a common journal entry and when you enter in, like we just mentioned, that designated work tag on the left. All these related work tags will that correspond with that driver will auto-populate in the additional work tags field on the right. And these related work tags, they help to further identify and categorize the transaction. So this is really just a demonstration of what really will happen on a standard accounting journal. These related work tags include budget reference, class, assignee, cost center, fund, and function. Not shown on the journal tab, but on the other work tags, you can see these are other work tags. There are other work tags that are required on a transaction. These include things like your spend and revenue categories and your ledger accounts. So these don't auto-populate, but they are required work tag fields that need to be entered on a transaction. Um, so all journals and financial transactions will error out if there's not all the work tag criteria are met. And when entering, and we also have things called custom validations and business process steps and approvals that are built into every business process to ensure data integrity when posting. So here we're going to show you, you can see the accounting journal workflow for a normal accounting journal and for EIBs. This approval chain process is really crucial for checking that the data entered is correct and accurate, and it's easily understandable for auditing purposes and just, even just for yourself to go back and check, like, why did I do this journal? What was this for? It's really important that we have all the correct fields entered. So Accounting journals begin here in the created status, and as the accountant or the author of the journal begins creating the journal, and then once all required fields like debits, credits, attachments are added, the journal can be submitted. Once the journal is submitted, the journal will briefly enter this in progress status, which is where it will be checked by the custom validations that we have in place in the background. And if there are no errors, the journal will then move to reserve status, where it will be in the queue of management approval. And just to note, there can be many approval steps in this process, depending on the work tag used, the dollar amount of the journal, the time of month of the journal, if we are in month end, if there's certain ledger activities closed. Um, and sometimes it doesn't always tell you how many approvals is required when you first enter a journal. So follow up on your journal you've entered. Just because one manager's approved it, sometimes it doesn't always post there. Um, but if there is an error, you have to correct the journal. It must be corrected and resubmitted before uh, it must be corrected fully and before going into posted status. Your managers also have created journal if it was entered in error. Your journal fields and attachments can all be edited at any point throughout this process until it's posted. So you can see it's able to be edited if it's in created, in progress, reserved. It could be canceled at any point throughout these as well. But once it's posted, it can't be edited. It would have to then be reversed out. But like I said, once all errors are resolved, and if the journal had no error and to begin with, and once all of the approvers have it's gone through all approval steps, only then will it go into posted status. So um, really follow up on the journal once you've submitted it and make sure that every approver has approved it, because that's the only way it will get to posted status. So here we have what we mentioned before, our custom validations. And on the right, you can see an example of what these red and yellow indicators. Those are what you'll see if you get a warning or an error message when entering a transaction. Like mentioned before, these are built-in validations that we have. They're fully customizable and they really ensure data integrity across campus. They do so by requiring or preventing certain data entry based on the field type. Certain field must be entered and other fields cannot be changed when entering a financial transaction. And they also allow or disallow specific values based on accounting rules that we have set up. There's unallowed work tags on certain spend and revenue categories. If you're using a gift work tag, there's certain spend and revenue categories that need to be used as to correspond with that. And then on the left, we listed out some examples of these custom validations that we have that will give you a critical error. So these are custom validations that will cause a journal to not post. These are things like making sure the accounting date is correct and for an open accounting period, requiring a memo, adding in your attachments for backup, making sure your control total and debits and credits are all matched up, and many more that you can see on here. You may see these errors or alerts pop up when entering a transaction online. And if you click into the error, it'll give you some more detail on the error message and what's causing that error. And that's where you can begin to troubleshoot from there. Um, for the warnings, just know that you can bypass these, and some journals will still post with the warning, but the red critical errors will not. So if you do see that critical error, that's a hard stop. That will prevent a transaction from posting. And if you're ever running into a posting error and you're really unsure how to troubleshoot, you need to reach out to your manager and exhaust it all resources. Please feel free to submit a ServiceNow ticket, or you can reach out to me and we can try to get that solved together. So, like mentioned before, we have segregation of duties and business process steps. Segregation of duties is a key internal control that reduces the risk of error, fraud, inappropriate actions. It breaks down tasks among multiple people, right? So, for example, the same person submitting a journal can't just go in and approve that right after, and they can't, proxy in and approve their own journal. This, reduces risk, improves compliance, protects our reputation, separates functions, and requires joint responsibilities across tasks for different departments. We need to review users, and it reviews user permissions in Workday. So this screenshot here is a part of our business process step for a standard accounting journal. These are rules and steps that the transaction must go through before posting. And this does include our approval steps and custom validation. So this is just another way that we are ensuring that the data that is entered into the system is accurate when before it gets posted. So we talked about Workday reporting earlier in our financial slides, but we really wanted to provide some more information on reporting in Workday, how you can access these and where you can access these reports. These are something I use daily for auditing work tags, checking journal errors. I also use them for month and year end checks, running for the trial balance to see if there's any journals in error or journals posted with incorrect budget reference or something. It's really a extremely helpful tool, and really with the introduction of Workday worksheets has only gotten stronger. Our reports can be categorized into different ways, such as based on your security role or the specific business process. And there are two general kinds of reports, like we mentioned a bit before, the delivered reports and custom reports. So delivered reports are pre-built and maintained by Workday. They're useful, but sometimes are lacking in what we need here at Georgia Tech. And that's where the custom reports come in. And those are built and maintained by Georgia Tech, and they're made to accommodate our unique business requirements. These custom reports begin in a CR or a GTCR, excuse me, they end in a CR or GTCR, and that stands for Custom Report and Georgia Tech Custom Report. Um, Really, the easiest way to find a report you're looking for in Workday is just the Workday search bar at the top. You can begin typing in the what you need for the name of the report, but the only downside is you need to know some part of the report, right? You can also utilize the favorites worklet in Workday. If there's a report that you run often, you can search that report and favorite it so it's on your Workday dashboard. That way you don't have to go searching for that report every time you want to run it. It can just be right there on your home screen. Um, a quick tip is if you're ever trying to find information on a specific work tag, we have these FDM find reports, and they can be ran for each of the six main driver work tags, and that includes designated, gifts, grants, projects, custodial entities, and GTI charge codes. So this gives you a list of all those work tags, or you can narrow the search down and search for a specific work tag or work tag hierarchy, and it will show you the status, information, and all the related work tags for that driver. So definitely a very helpful report if you're just looking for information on a work tag. Like touched on before in some other reports, we have the campus reporting dashboard. Now this is, if you a great tool for you if you have no clue on where to start on what report you might need to run in Workday. This is a great tool to get familiar with regardless. You can access this just by searching the word campus reporting dashboard on the Workday search bar at the top, and then you'll be greeted with this screen. This dashboard really serves as your main hub for all campus reports, and they're sectioned off and categorized out by functional areas like financial and FDM, sponsored reports, gifts reports. Um, they even have links to job aids on this site and uh, an area for troubleshooting if that's if and webinars, tips and tricks, instructions. So it's definitely a really helpful tool if you just need to get yourself familiar with Workday reports. I would definitely suggest looking into this. So really the main way that we protect our financial data across campus is with the use of what we call Workday security roles. And these are security elements assigned to a position, your position or job that dictate what users may see or execute in the system. This means that your Workday security role determines what reports you're able to run and also what information you can see in those reports. So, like if you're unable to find a specific report or business process in Workday, it's more than likely that you don't have the security role needed to see that. On the bottom right here, you can see just a quick example of like the authorized groups. These are the security roles that are needed to see the Find Journals CR report that we have. So if you didn't have one of these security roles and you searched that Find Journals CR report in Workday, nothing would pop up, right? Um, some examples of Workday security roles include all employees. This is just our standard Georgia Tech base access. There's the accountant role, which allows users to create operational and accounting journals. It also allows them to report on accounting transactions for their assigned companies. Then we have more detailed and specific roles like GTRI Work Tag Specialist, Gift Manager, and EIB Specialist. These allow access to more specific and sensitive data within Workday. Um, an example like gifts and GTRI data, you need to have a gift or GTRI Workday security role in order to access or see some of their GTRI specific data within Workday reports. A very important distinction to make between different security roles in Workday is the accountant and accountant central business office roles. The accountant central business office allows for processing of accounting transactions and adjustments across all of the FDM dimensions. This role is for central business office users only, and it ties in directly with the accounting period close role below it. Um, and that is really for month and fiscal year end close for those that are involved in that process. For security roles, they're requested through ServiceNow. Certain security roles require some training and prerequisites before being given access. Most of this training is available through the GT training portal, excuse me, but some of them, like the EIB specialist roles, do require a quick training with our office, the FSM team, which we would set up like a brief one-on-one to go through the process, share our job aid with you, and just make sure that we feel and know that you're comfortable before giving you access to load the EIBs in the system, which there's actually another team that will grant the access, but we go through that in a second. So on this slide, we have added a link to the key training resources here, and we also wanted to share this table of recommended training that's based off of your job, your position here. And also in that link, it does kind of break down what courses it kind of recommends per your role. So definitely take a look at this when you get some time. There may be a training course that um, you haven't taken or may be useful for your position. It's definitely something that we recommend taking a look at. So it's because it is our responsibility as data stewards to ensure that everyone on campus has the correct training and has the correct workday security roles that they need to perform their jobs. The FSM team currently prepares and sends out the biannual Workday user attestation. I think we're actually in the middle of that right now. And that's where we have campus users can check and confirm that their current Workday security roles are still what they need and still accurate. If anyone has changed positions or departments or has, left or taken on new responsibilities, sometimes we need to take away their security roles or add security roles to them. So, that Workday user attestation really is our way of auditing security roles for all of campus users. So I know it seems tedious, but it's very helpful for us. So really for our last main topic, we wanted to talk about how to navigate ServiceNow, for making these Workday security role requests and possibly submitting financial incident tickets. The link on the screen here will take you to the ServiceNow homepage, which you see on your screen. And we have some screenshots for our quick scenario. We're gonna select that financials tab on the right, and the incident tickets are entered for action items or questions, defects that are found. This could be things like, allowable cost matrix question. You're not sure, you don't see something on the allowable cost matrix, and you're not sure if it's allowed or not. If you need a new or if you need any changes to an existing work tag, or any reporting questions or errors. Then we have what we're going to be showing, the Workday security role requests, and those are really just what they sound. That's submitting a ServiceNow ticket to get yourself or a team member a security role that they may need. So how do we go about requesting that security role? On this page, you're seeing what you would be greeted with once you click that financial tab on the right from the previous screen. And the page you're seeing on the left here is the landing page, and you can, search your question from here at the top. There's also knowledge articles that are available. At the top, it shows you some known issues and defects and errors that are currently going on, so you can, check to see if something that you're experiencing may be involved with that. And then there's also all of these different tabs here that are related to different functional areas. And that's really where you'll, begin and click on to begin your request. Um, and so for our demonstration, we'll be selecting the bottom left tab, the Workday App Security tab, and that will open up the page you're seeing on your right. And then here you can see the request new Workday security role that's the first option. And this is what you would then select to begin the ticket for requesting a new security role in Workday. Um, but just note that for like we talked about before, like for an incident ticket, that you would be going into like the foundation data model tab I think it's one up and to the right of the bottom left. That's where you would go on for a request for a new workday, a work tag, or a change. But if you don't know what your request is, like what functional area your request is tied to, you can always just hit this request help tab in the middle, and it'll kind of prompt you with some questions, and then it'll categorize your ticket from there. All right, so we've hit the, Workday request new Workday security role button, and we are ready to start our request, and we're greeted with this form. You just need to fill out a couple required fields here, like who the security role is for, what security roles they need, and it just asks you for a brief description, and then you'll submit the ticket to officially create your request in ServiceNow. Workday security role requests do eventually come to the controller's office where we will check that desired prerequisites are met and conduct any training if needed for the role, like mentioned. And then ultimately, the ticket will go to the Enterprise Applications, EA Service Delivery, and Compliance team, who will review and grant you those roles within the Workday tenants themselves. So here's like On the left, you can see a ticket. This is once you submitted, you can check the status of your ticket. You can go back to the ServiceNow homepage and hit that My Request tab on the top, and you can go into your actual specific ticket. And this will let you see what status the ticket is in, whose queue it's currently sitting in case you need to follow up or if you need to make any additional comments or provide any additional attachments or detail for those people working on your ticket. ServiceNow tickets, officially, they move through three various tiers or assignment groups. So when a ticket is first created, it goes into what we call tier one, which is the administrative services center. View the ticket and assign it to the correct functional area, which is tier two. That was us, the controller's office, or could be grants and contracts or GTRI. Um, we'll begin working on the ticket, following up with the submitter to get any additional information we might need. Some tickets, like work tag creation, do end here with the functional area. So, if it is just a work tag creation, those FDM tickets, we will actually complete those tickets and follow up and let you know and make the comment and close out those tickets. But other tickets like the report workday security roles requests that we're doing now and report changes, those will move on to tier three. And the tier three team is the EA Enterprise Application Service Delivery and Compliance team that we mentioned, the security team. They'll perform the final analysis of the request, and they're the ones that are actually making these changes in Workday and making those changes to the report and security roles and granting those security roles in the Workday tenants. And then they'll complete and close those tickets. Any point throughout the submission of a ServiceNow ticket, the submitter should get an email verification once it's submitted, and also if any comments are made, if you've been mentioned in any comments, and if any once the ticket has been put into complete status, you should also be notified as well. So we also wanted to just talk about the ServiceNow knowledge articles that are available for more in-depth and specific information on functional areas, business processes, and reports. Knowledge articles are available to help improve financial literacy across, campus and they're also just a great source of information if you need a refresher on a specific topic. Like how do I enter a change order request, or how do I enter supplier invoice request, or how do I enter a journal? Um, to access the financial knowledge articles available on Workday, you'd go again back to that ServiceNow homepage and you would hit the knowledge tab. And there's a drop down that you would just hit financials knowledge, and you'll see that you'd be greeted with the page that is on your screen right now. In this view, you can scroll through common knowledge articles, search for a topic that you're looking for specifically, even sort it by functional areas you can see on the left. So if you're looking for a specific area like budgets or business assets, financial accounting, you can see what popular knowledge articles are available for those different areas. And to wrap up, we just want to leave you with this slide containing some information and resources on data governance to look through when you have time. I know someone presented and talked about data governance earlier in today's Data Days conference, but information really is a key strategic asset to Georgia Tech. So these safeguards, policies, business processes, and best practices that we use to protect our data are critical. So please take a look at them and reach out with any questions if you have them. And I think that is all I have. Thank you guys again. Any questions or?
Thank you very much, Tyler. And if everyone will join me in just thanking Tyler for his time and his expertise here. It was a great presentation. Lots of details. We very much appreciated. And if you're going to do the feedback, don't use that one. Let's actually, they throw in the link for the session feedback. That one's actually for the entire event. So if y'all would use the link that I put into the chat for your session feedback. Tyler, there is one question in the chat. It is from Lee or Lay. How does one get to the campus reporting dashboard?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to go into Workday. So log into Workday homepage, and if you type in campus reporting dashboard at the top search bar, it should be the first thing that pops up. So it'll be a link, and you can just click on that, and you'll be greeted with the homepage that was shown on the screen prior. But just searching campus reporting dashboard at Workday should take you there.
Excellent. Thanks, Tyler. You're getting lots of thumbs up and great jobs in the chat.
Too kind.
Anybody have any questions? Anything they've been trying to do for the last so many days or weeks or months? All right, I don't see any hands raised and I don't see any questions in the chat. So thank you again, Tyler, so much. We very much appreciate it. And thank you everybody for attending. Oh, there we go. Carrie said save frequently used reports, question mark. I'm guessing,
Yeah, so
yeah.
you can do that. You can save frequently used reports, and there's a favorites worklet in Workday. So, if needed, I can always set up a session to show you how to access those. And then they'll be available on your Workday home screen once you favorite them. There's a worklet section on like the right hand side on your Workday homepage. But yeah, I can always chat with you and show you some screenshots to get you there.
All right, now the questions are coming in. Na asks, for the custom reports in Workday, with either ending CR or GTCR, what's the difference between these two reports?
So I think CR or custom reports builds that are not just used by Georgia Tech exclusively. They're custom reports that we may have used from Workday Community, and Georgia Tech custom reports are specifically built by us. But I don't know if Carol or Serena wanted to chime in if I misspoke on any of that incorrectly. But from my knowledge, that's what I understand it as. CR can be used by GT and GTAA. Gotcha. And then GTCR, Georgia Tech only.
Cool. Great. All right. Well, looks like that's all the questions. So again, thanks, Tyler, so much. And thanks everyone for attending. Please do fill out the feedback. I'll put it into the chat again one more time here. Don't use the one that's on the slide. That one is our overall event feedback survey that we're not ready to send that to you yet. But if you're not going to attend on Wednesday, then feel free to do that. But we do have hands-on sessions on Wednesday going over how to use Light, Tableau, Power BI, and Excel for just various data analysis. And so we look forward to seeing you on day 2. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining today. It's been a long but very interesting and informative day. And thanks to all my speakers and everyone who participated. So